This is ThinkTech Hawaii. Community matters here.
Guys, and we're live back here in Think Take Studios, Hawaii, with the Prince of Investing show, live here and broadcasting live in Hollywood, Hawaii. But you guys know I'm here in Denver, Colorado. But thank you guys for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button, and all the other great stuff. As you guys can already see, we have a very, very special guest with us here today. In 12-year NFL veteran, linebacker Jarret Johnson. He called us all the way from Florida. We're going to sit down with him. We're going to talk about his NFL career, life before the NFL, life during the NFL, financial literacy, all the other great stuff, time in the league, and life after the league. We get to all of that. But you guys stay tuned. You guys keep it locked right here. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys don't have a lot of time. We're going to jump straight into it. So without further ado, I know you guys are in tune in to hear my mouth all day. Got to bring in our special guest, Mr. Jarret Johnson. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. First of all, I want to say thank you for stopping by and spending a little time with a peon like myself. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh, no, ain't no better thing, man. I don't know about that peon thing. I mean,
but this is the thing, right? I know it's a big week, in college football, and I was, me myself, I'm originally from Georgia, and I was doing some of your history, and I found one little discrepancy down there, that you actually a University of Alabama alumni.
That's right.
You guys are going to the college football league. College football championship against Georgia here. And with that being said, me being originally from Georgia, you already know I'm rooting for the Bulldogs. I just want to say, man, you guys already got enough championships. Let us get one, okay?
That's the funnest thing about being an Alabama fan is just watching how mad everybody else gets. But we have something in common is half the country, or more than half the country, hates the SEC, and it just makes me happy that it's an all SEC championship game. So we get to enjoy that and the build up to the game, and we'll be enemies the day of. But until then, I'm going to enjoy making everybody else mad.
I knew they were going to get Alabama in there some type of way. But
that's right.
With that being said, for people out there who don't know who Jarret Johnson is, who is Jarret Johnson?
Who am I? Now I'm a retired NFL linebacker. I'm a family man. I do some radio on the side. I run a fishing charter on the side. But my everyday job is I'm a stay-at-home dad. I'm around the house a lot when I'm not traveling on the water or something like that. But I pride myself on being a good husband and a good father.
Oh, awesome. Now, going back on your history, right? You played for University of Alabama. You done some great things down there, and then you went off and got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. How was that feeling of getting drafted into the NFL?
It was good. I mean, I didn't so much enjoy the draft process, the combine and Senior Bowl and stuff like that. I mean, it's a straight up meat market, so it was very stressful. You get a lot of people pulling at you, a lot of people telling you things that they think you want to hear. It's not real healthy. I don't really enjoy the attention or limelight or anything like that. So once I did get draft day, I thought I was just like everybody else. I thought I was going on the first day, ended up going on the second day. But I could have got drafted in a better place, in a better spot. I was a fourth round draft pick, which ended up being a perfect spot for me. And then to a team that I played for 9 years, had a great career in Baltimore. It was a perfect team that fit my personality and my style of play. And then I went on to San Diego and finished out my career with 3 years with San Diego.
Okay. Now looking back on that, so you got to play with some pretty big names, some Hall of Famers there. You got Ed Reed behind you, learning from Ray Lewis, Joe Flacco there, Studs, Studs is there. How was it like with playing with all these Hall of Famers and being on the Ravens, known for defense and being a linebacker?
Right. No, it was awesome. I mean, there was early in my career, I had the opportunity to play with Deion Sanders for a couple of years. Me and Terrell Suggs were in the same draft class. He's still one of my closest friends. But the guy there is Ray Lewis. You know, he's the standard maker. He's the bar. He set the bar for the rest of the players to live up to. But I was definitely fortunate to have a lot of really good players around me, and also a lot of really good coaches, like for Chuck Pagano and Rex Ryan and Dean Pease, and I can go down the list of the number of good coaches that I had the opportunity to play for.
Okay. Now you say, when you're going through this meat, I thought that was kind of funny when you said that, the little meat market process. Going through the NFL, when you're going through this and, you finally get drafted, how, throughout your NFL career, since you had a pretty long career, 12 years, if you don't mind saying it here, how much money you think you probably accumulated throughout that time?
I don't know. I signed a 3-year deal. My rookie deal was a 3-year deal, and then I signed a 1-year tender, and then I signed a 5-year deal. That was my first. That was my 3 contracts in Baltimore, and then I signed a 4-year deal with San Diego, in which I played 3 of it. But I don't know the exact number, but it was, I had a fortunate career. I played a lot longer than I even anticipated me playing. And it was it was definitely, I had the opportunity to live a dream. But money wise, I guess I had to add it up.
Okay. Well, since when you make that type of money, you don't even know what you made. You probably probably got a couple million. Pretty sure it was a couple millions, right? But throughout that time, so you guys know who to call when you need to borrow $5. So, but throughout that time, did you make any investments?
Yeah, I did. I learned a lot. My financial career, what I call your focus outside of football and family. There definitely you definitely take on a lot of responsibility once you start making money in the NFL. Things definitely change. You don't particularly change, but a lot of people around you, the way people view you. And I remember the first time, because I was a C average student. I was your typical jock. I'm from the country, very small town. And I remember I was going through the draft process, and I was visiting with my uncle, and he started asking me questions about. He was wanting to refinance his house, and he was asking my opinion on how he should refinance his house. And I'm sitting there like, why are you asking me this? I mean, but the point is that just because he knew I was going to get drafted and start making money, he automatically thought that I was like this financial guru, that I knew the things that he needed to be doing with his financial life. And I hadn't even, first of all, I didn't even know what he was talking about at the time. And I hadn't signed my contract yet. So I was still basically living like a college kid. That was my first indicator of how, people's view of you changes once they associate you with the NFL.
Wow. Okay. So you going through this. What are some other examples of how people treat you a little different, once they find out, you got getting drafted or you're a prospect?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Like, what are some other examples? Like, you had the example of your uncle about refinancing house. Like, what are some other things?
You could just be out socially. Yeah, you could be out socially, be at a bar, a social event, or whatever. And I dress normal. I'm a bigger guy, but I don't. I'm not gonna. You're not gonna automatically know that I play in the NFL. And you get to talking to people, and they might, be bragging about themselves or just kind of treating you like, you're they're not nobody, but they're just not really paying. And all of a sudden, the minute they find out that you play in the NFL, their attitude changes, the way they look at you, the questions they ask, like automatically. It's one thing about the NFL is it automatically makes people's viewpoint, and like they almost, they're either intimidated by you, or they like want to start bragging about themselves, or they're like measuring up, or they're kissing your butt and they're telling you how great, but nobody. It's rare for somebody to meet you and just treat you like a normal human. They're always either going to go in a negative way or an overly positive way. And a lot of times I'm like, hold on, now you were just talking to me normal a second ago before you found out to play, and also they find out you play, they're going to treat you a different way. But you got to learn to deal with that. One thing I always try to do is treat everybody the same, no matter if it's if it's a bum on the street or a CEO of a company. Everybody's the same. We're all created by God and are equals. The only thing that's different is the way you treat people, and the way people treat you.
Well, I would say, to contribute to that, when you guys get to the NFL, they make you guys seem larger than life. You on television,
Right.
what do you eat? What do you drive? What do you do every day? And it's zooming in on your face, and on prime television, and it's a multi-million dollar, billion-dollar marketing plan placed behind you guys. That when you see someone in the NFL, you're like, oh wow, man, you're in the NFL, or you was in the NFL, or you're going to the NFL. So people that's kind of funny that you say some people go over the top with bragging about themselves or measure up, or they become intimidated. So, but now the question that financially, it seems like you did pretty well with playing in the league for 12 years, and now you're just hanging out fishing and just being dad and husband. Now,
yeah, I was always I think the best thing that I did financially is that I kept it simple. I understood. I made a budget every year based off of my lifestyle and my income and the things I wanted to get out of whatever I was making that year. Now it started lower. My rookie contract. As a rookie, you're not making near as much money. And I remember my first game check, I was making like $7,000 a week. But that's for the games you play. So that's 16 games plus a bye week. So 17 checks, and I would take 5,000 of that, and I'd put it into savings, and I'd take 2, and that would go to my bills, and my basically went into my checking account. Now, as the years go on, and you start making more money, that obviously changes. That number changes, but the philosophy that the majority of it is going to go to savings, and a portion of it goes into your checking and kind of your lifestyle. It goes up as your salary goes, as you get to be a veteran and you start making more money. But I never deviated from that plan. I never changed from, I didn't look at my salary as what they had slotted in my contract. I looked at it as, what am I paying myself to live off of? And the rest of it is all going to whether I have a real estate plan or just my most of it is just go straight into savings, or my portfolio. And I did that for my entire 12-year career.
Okay. Now, when you say you made investments, what type of investments did you make, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I made some dumb ones early. I had a financial advisor that was trying to get me into some outside stuff outside of just my portfolio. And one of them was a product that they used for. It was a product they used in construction. They'd spray this formula or this solution on the frame of houses, and it was supposed to, termites couldn't eat all this junk. Luckily, I didn't invest so much money in it. I ended up getting the money out of it. But I did that, but as my career went on, I mainly just real estate. I did had a couple of real estate deals. Just bought some dirt in some areas in Baldwin County, and I have a buddy that owns a company in Texas. I'm a silent partner with him. But outside that, the vast majority of my stuff is just, I would call it not sexy, not something fun to talk about. It's a bond ladder.
No, that's actually pretty good to hear. As far as getting involved with real estate, because so often we hear stories of NFL veterans that are not doing too well with.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. everybody wants to talk about the bad stories. Everybody wants to talk about the stories of the guys that that blow all their money and they buy all these crazy cars and houses and travel and this and that. And I would say that obviously those are the fun ones to talk about. That's what people like to. They always kind of want to use it as a knock, to those dumb athletes or whatever. But I mean, I'd be willing to say that the majority of the teammates I've had over the years have been. There's been just as many of them who have been either have every dime they've made since they played or have made more. There's just as many as those guys as there are guys that are struggling and blew their money. But nobody wants to talk about the guys that have gone on and either just live off their savings and live a modest lifestyle, or they got into outside deals, started companies, they went on and got a job or went into coaching or whatever, and do really well with it financially.
Mm-hmm. But that's a little different, Jerry. I'm different. I like to highlight you guys to say, hey, you know what? You've done some good stuff. Not everybody, because what happened is the outside world is we're not in the league. We're nowhere near close to being in the league. All we know is what the media push out there. And the media usually jumps onto the stories of, oh, look, this guy blew everything. He has nothing and blah, blah. And you hear that story over and over. You think, well, what are the good ones? And since you don't see the good ones, you would just assume that, wow, all those guys in the NFL just blow all their money.
Right. So, that's exactly right. And most of the guys that are good with their money, they're not going to tell you they're good with their money. They're not tell you how much money they have. They don't dress or act in a way. I got teammates that I played with that they made $30-40 million in contracts and saved every penny. They've started gyms and other outside companies. If you met them, I mean, they have workout pants on and driving a pickup truck and just normal as they can be. But yeah, those guys are not real fun to talk about, but there's a bunch of them out there.
Jarret, are you describing yourself without telling us?
I'm not going to act like, I'm living in a trailer or anything, I live a lifestyle that I can afford. I keep everything within my means. But I also enjoy life. I set aside enough money to where if my wife wants to go out to a nice dinner, I'm not going to complain about the price of the steak. Or, if she wants to go somewhere for a weekend and we're going to get, I'm not going to complain about it. We're just going to chalk that up as a life experience and we're going to enjoy life. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with enjoying life and enjoying, your hard work, but it's got to all be within your means.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm very glad to hear that. One thing I did want to ask you too is, what about your personal life? Do you have, you're married, you have kids and anything like that?
Yeah. I'm married. I got 2 little girls.
Okay.
Been married to my wife for, how long have I been married? 13 years, I guess. I don't know. Think about it there for a
second. But now the question I have now is there anything that you look back over your NFL career and say, man, I wish I would have done this different, or I wish somebody would have told me this? But somebody out there who's listening to this that maybe getting ready to go to the league, or that maybe, getting ready to play in the national championship, college football national championship, that's getting ready to go into that meat market, like you said. What advice would you give them?
Financially?
Yeah, financial advice. Yeah. And personal too.
I don't know. I really wouldn't change a whole lot about my career. I think personally as an athlete, I wish I would have known about nutrition and things, knowing how to take care of my body earlier in my career. I didn't learn that stuff till, 4 or 5 years in the league. I mean, we didn't, to me, eating good carbs and protein was beer and chicken wings, and then once I got in the NFL and I got a personal trainer and how to eat properly and nutrition and all this stuff, it made me a better player. I wish I'd learned that earlier in my career. Financially, I was fortunate to where the dumb deals that that the few dumb deals I got into, I was able to get my money out, and the dumb deals that I was presented with, because you get presented with a ton of stuff. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of ideas and get rich schemes, and guys come up to anytime a guy walks up to you and says, "I'm gonna make you rich," I walk away.
Good advice.
Yeah, but the vast majority of them I never followed through with, and I'm thankful for that. But so financially, I wouldn't change a whole lot. I would, I wish I was a little more business savvy. Because I have a financial advisor and stuff. But like I said, I keep things simple. I don't have any debt. I whittled down any debt that I did have, my first 6 years of my career, and been living debt free ever since. And because of that, I can live debt free forever. So, I wouldn't change a whole lot about my financial career.
Okay. Well, that's very good advice that you gave out. Keeping it simple, investing into things that you possibly know about. And, you went on to do great things in real estate with investing into tangible things that you know about, or whatever. Because,
Yeah.
you ever thought about like getting a franchise or anything like that?
Getting a franchise?
Yeah, like a franchise, like, I don't know, a Dairy Queen, a Subway, a McDonald's, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good deals you can get into. I don't really look into them personally, but there are some good franchises out there that are sound investments for investors, and you can get a pretty safe return on your dollar. Like a lot of McDonald's, if they're run correctly, are can be super good investments. But I would say the main thing that you need to do as far as investing is have a good CPA. Have a good financial advisor, somebody that you can trust, and they don't have to be a sports specific investor. The minute you start going through the draft process, all these guys are going to come out of the woodwork, and they're going to start recruiting these players to come and invest their money with them. And a lot of them are saying, I'm going to pay your bills for you. I'm going to handle your taxes for you. I'm going to do all this stuff. And it's going to be at a super inflated rate. Don't ever let anybody pay your bills. Always pay your own bills so you know what's going out every day. And then don't ever sign a power of attorney that's going to let somebody say, look, sign this power of attorney, and I'm going to take your money. I'm going to handle it for you. Always know where every penny is going. It doesn't have to be anything super glamorous. Like me, I had the sports-specific advisor. I fired him before I got a dime because I saw the writing. They were going to charge me like $30,000 just to do my taxes. That wasn't going to count what I had to pay Uncle Sam. That was for him to hand my taxes. He was going to pay me. I had to pay him like $30,000, and I found that out. Plus, he was going to charge me like 2 and 3% to invest. And I realized, this is a racket. And then I just went. I knew I had a friend in college. His dad had some money, and I was like, "Who's your dad use?" And he used this guy with Morgan Keegan. I went and met him, and he's just a good old guy, just a real smart investor, very conservative. Didn't say anything super sexy. Never told me he was going to make me rich. And he ended up being my financial advisor for a long time until he retired. And when I left him, I went and got another guy that was very similar. But you got to be careful of anybody that's out hunting you, that's out pursuing you, because they're not doing it for nothing. They're being that aggressive and taking you to dinner and going to do all this stuff for a reason, because they're going to make money on the back end.
Okay, so it was so that sports agent sounded like he was going on. The sports advisor sounded like he was going to hook you right on up. Yeah. Well, I mean,
the agent's totally different. The agent, he's going to make his 3%. He handles your contract. I'm talking about just financial advisor.
Yeah. Now, go ahead, Jarret.
No, that was it.
Now the question is after football, life after football. What is life after football for Jarret Johnson?
Well, I mean, financially, is that what you're talking about?
Well, financially, just
Just my
overall,
everyday life.
yeah, just everyday life. Like, what did you get into? Anything in detail? Or you just like, hey, I want to just keep it simple, just do a little fishing, and
Right. I'll say this: retirement's tough for everybody, especially the longer you play in the NFL, the harder it's going to be when you get out because you know when you're in, it's not reality. I mean, your whole life. The best example or the best analogy I've heard describing life in the NFL or retirement in general is that life in the NFL is like a road. Travel down the road, you got signs, people telling you which way to go. Uh, you have everything is built around your whole life is structured, even the off season. Your daily routine of working out. Your nutrition plan. Going to off season program. Then you're going to mini camp. Then you got your plan, your schedule for the summer. Working up to training camp and go through the season. And everything is laid out in front of you, and you just have to travel down this road and not run it off into the ditch. Retirement is like traveling in an open field with nothing but time, opportunity, and resources to go any direction you want. But there's nothing in your past that has trained you to know which way to go. I mean, you could. It's really paralyzing your first couple months out when you realize that I could go work out, but I don't have to go work out. I could start a business. But do I know how to run this business? You could start a restaurant. You could go get a job. You could get into coaching. You could get into personnel. The resources or the opportunities are endless, and you can afford essentially to do anything. I mean, I had a guy come to me and talk about buying a car dealership. Oh, that sounds good. What the hell do I know about running a car dealership? Well, let's go for this. Let's go back. And so it's paralyzing on knowing which way to go. So I stuck with what I know and what I'm passionate about. I had a radio show when I was in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. I got into doing radio again. And that's been fun. I get to travel a little bit. I get to stay in contact with the team, watch a little film. It's great. I grew up fishing. Fishing is a passion of mine. So I started a charter company. I don't make a lot of money on it, but fishing and having a boat is expensive. And I get to run enough trips to where all my activities are tax deductible. I can write it all off under the business. So that became an advantage of mine to basically fund my hobby. And then the other thing is my family. I'm passionate about hanging out with my girls and getting involved in their sports and different things. And so basically what I'm saying, you when you get out, if you don't have the same passion about something else in life other than football, if you're not as passionate about that as you were about football, you're going to struggle when you get out of the NFL. It's going to be tough for you.
So you got to kind of figure out what you want to do. Maybe you want to, you got all this time on your hand. You can I could go work out. I don't have to go work out. And, just kind of, but that's good. So tell us about your radio show. What got you in the radio?
I had a show when I was in Baltimore. I had a show for 3 years on our flagship station for the Ravens, WBAL 98 Rock, and had a show there for a while. It was a lot of fun. Then when I retired, they asked me to come back and continue the show, and I've been doing that ever since. And now I've recently moved into the booth with the play-by-play guy on WBAL, and I'm the analyst in the booth. So I've been doing that the last 4 games of the season. So it's been good. I don't get paid a lot of money, but I get paid a little bit, and it's fun to travel, and it's just another thing that I'm big on getting up early and having a plan for the day. Having something to get up and go do, something to look forward to. And the radio has just added another thing in my day that I get to get up and have something to get out and accomplish.
Now, with that being said, what made you? What happened to the Ravens this season?
Well, it was a pretty rocky season. I mean, they started out, defense played pretty good early, had a pretty bad 3 or 4 game stretch, got behind, then they had a bunch of injuries and stuff. Quarterback wasn't playing real good, and then they rallied. They got healthy. Quarterback started playing better, got on a winning streak, got back in the hunt, was actually slotted in the 5th seed. All they did was win the last game, and and they slipped up against Cincinnati.
That's what
And
Cincinnati.
lost. Now the season's over.
Really, the Bengals.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things, man. You always got to be careful of your division rival.
Yeah, because it's always like a playoff game to them. It doesn't matter if they are 0-16. It's still that one game they got in them.
That's right.
But Jerry, I got to ask you this question: Is there anything you would like to leave with anybody out there that's listening or that's watching this live? What is something that Jerry Johnson wanted them to take away?
Well, I mean, I think the main thing, and being that it's a financial show, if there's any young guys out there listening, never forget who you are. Never let your money or whatever you make or whoever you become in the NFL, don't let them change you. Always be true to who you are, true to your family. Always live within your means, and it doesn't matter if you're worth $100 or $100 million. We're all human beings. Everybody else is the same, and just enjoy life, man.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you what I learned from you was to keep it simple, right? Sticking to what you know, maintain humble, and the biggest thing that he said in the beginning, he started a budget, and he kept it simple. Starting a budget, keeping it simple, investing into what he know. He didn't get into nothing that's super quick. Hey, I'm going to get you rich. I'm about to get rich in the next 6 months. See if you're going to jump on this train with me. He just stuck with what he knew and felt comfortable with, real estate, and he found an advisor that helped him out as well. So that's glad to hear.
Now, I tell you, one of the best words of advice a coach told me my rookie year was when we were going home for the off season. He said, I don't care what anybody presents to you, no real estate deal, no marketing plan, nothing that anybody can present you will make you more money than you can make out there on that green grass, on that football field. If you want to make some money, if you want to, do well in life,
it's true.
Go home, work out, stay in shape, take care of your body, and focus on football, because that is the greatest investment you'll ever make if you have the opportunity to play in the NFL. Because everybody wants to go out and make money elsewhere. Go work out, take care of your body. Keep it simple. Do what you do best. Don't go out there trying to start a chain of restaurants or whatever else. Stick with what you know.
That's true, because not too many places can beat the NFL paycheck. So, but definitely, Jarret Johnson, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I'm really honored. If anybody out there wants to talk to you or get in contact with you, what's the way you tell them to reach out to you? If they want to reach out to you, if you want to be reached out to.
Yeah, I don't really want to be reached out.
I had to throw that in there. I'm like, maybe he may want to do that.
Yeah.
So, but okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, I don't really do. I do Instagram. I guess you can check out Instagram, but other than that, I don't really do Twitter or anything else. So,
okay. Well, Jarret Johnson, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for dropping the gems. As always, guys, this is the Prince of Investing. My name is Prince Dyke. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until the next video, book, podcast, whatever you see me do crazy around the globe. Peace, be safe. I'm out, and thank you.
You